My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Best Quality Vacuum, the Duckfeed show about Breaking Bad, El Camino, and Better Call Saul.
And this week we are cornered, talking about this episode directed by Michael Slovis, written by Jennifer Hutchison, and originally aired on August the 11th, 2011.
Yeah, a real good one,
Mm-hmm.
I think. This is like the good version of the last episode.
Yes.
Kind of. Like, we're still setting stuff in place, but there's so much more drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much more fun to watch. Like, it's very, very electric,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of tension.
Yeah.
This is about the fallout. At the end of the last episode, Walt drunkenly talked about how Gail Bedecker is not Heisenberg. He is just a student.
Yeah.
Of a real genius.
It's just rote copying. He knows he's seen bad students.
Yeah.
And, it's the next day, and Skyler has put together that Walt is afraid for the family. Kind of putting his little blab session together with the phone message that he left. And this leads to a confrontation that causes her to leave for a couple of days.
Yeah. And ice him out for a long time.
Yes.
This is going to have tons of effects. This is weirdly, the domino meme with crawl space. Like the domino meme is Walt making the decision in the first place.
Yeah.
But like them being estranged and not talking, if she was still under the impression that they were reconciling, like she was before the blab, then maybe she would have mentioned what's going on with Ted.
Yeah.
When the tax stuff happens, all that thing.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
And then maybe he wouldn't have mutated into a hunched over little bomb goblin.
Yes, he would have turned into Cassandra Nova. This also has one of my favorite scenes in the show, like very memorable, which is Jesse being Mike's wingman and using, I know meth heads to recover some meth. This is a kind of a silly scene.
Oh, yeah.
But I love it. I think it's really good. It's very memorable to me.
Yes, I like it quite a bit. I do not know or really even care if it is an accurate portrayal of the behavior of addicts. Yeah.
I also don't care.
Yeah.
There's probably discourse to be had and has been had about this show portraying meth folk as monster men, like monster people. And like, I get that. I love a sympathetic depiction of an addict.
Yes.
I want that as a thing. For some of the stuff in the show to work, the consequences of what Walt is doing indirectly have to be monstrous. Like the direct consequences and indirect consequences. Otherwise, there are justifications.
Yes.
Otherwise, Gail is right. Like they're consenting adults, at least with my product, it's pure. That's not a good excuse. You can't make Gail right.
No.
No matter what we do.
Not at all.
He's a libertarian. He's got a Rand Paul sticker.
Rand Paul was just a glint in Ron's eye at that point.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He was
just a swimmer.
He was growing on the wall of some basement in I don't know, some kind of think tank.
The Smiler. Yeah.
This is a very little production trivia in this one. Like, there's some stuff about the Four Corners scene that is just literally Hollywood magic. Waves your hands. But this does have one of the famous monologues from the series in it. And I want to mention that here because it is very hilarious in the context that we find it, that it became this ultra badass thing.
It's a big mistake Walt's making.
Oh God, yeah.
As a thing. Like that's why it seems so silly. It is really like Scarface poster. A little bit. Like watching it in this context, trying to strip away the memification of it, and be like, no, this is a good character moment for what this is doing. Right. Like it's a mistake.
Yes.
But I like it as Walt trying on Heisenberg outside of work.
Yes.
And this, his nerve getting touched and him, he's a blowfish, right? He's a pufferfish. He got activated by this, his tail's poofed. Yes. So he has to bring this out as a defense mechanism. I think that stuff's all really good.
Yeah.
It's also the kind of thing that if somebody gets tattooed in like Times New Roman font on their back, don't date them. It's like go, swipe the wrong way, swipe away. Let's get into it.
Let's do.
This is a fun episode to talk about. Let's go.
Yeah. Got a cold open. We're back in the refrigerator trucks with another cartel shakedown, except this time we don't have a mic. We just have two randoms, which means they are going to die.
The two things happened with this. One is I thought maybe Netflix was showing me the last episode again. Two, the fact that this is the strategy. You know that tweet about it just sounds like you're feeding shelter cats at the local coyotes? That's what Gus and Mike are doing with drivers.
Yep.
Like they think that maybe these operators in the back will live, but this is the second driver who died. They just keep signing guys up for this shit.
Oh yeah, it just gets iced.
It's so funny. Yeah, like, we know he's getting iced. But yeah, we got two jobbers in here. Not that necessarily Mike would have got his way out of this.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Mike's basically supernatural, just like Gus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they have a smarter tactic. They're thinking, they're evolving. You know, they're not just going to open the door to be fired upon. They take out the driver, and then they take a big old hose and route the engine exhaust into the refrigerator box, into the compartment where these guys are hiding, while also barring the door.
Yep, barring the door and putting something on the gas pedal. They grab the cooler from the cab and start eating this guy's lunch in 3 pieces. Like one gets chips, one gets sandwich, one gets apple. And the guards inside realize what's happening and they start panicking and they can't get out. Eventually they panic. So like one's trying to block the vent, one's trying to get the door open. Eventually they shoot the back door and try to breathe through the holes.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
Oh yeah.
You know, right? Like asphyxiation. But it is too late.
Yeah.
The cartel guys come in and they use the black light. They know the method. They find the buckets that have little stars on them. If you mail them in, then you get a free Tootsie Pop.
Yep. Seems like a bad trade to me, but I'm not your dad.
Yep. It's a lot of meth for one Tootsie Pop. But they have stolen the meth.
Yes.
So, yeah. We wake up, Skyler is no dummy, right? Skyler's listening to the message that Walt left her and looking up stuff on Gail Bedecker. About his murder, kind of figuring it out. There's this little touch here that I really like. She brings, Walt's still sleeping. She brings him a cup of coffee. This is not a carrying act. The way I think about this is if I let him get up, he's gonna be like, oh, I need coffee before we can have this conversation. Like she's taking away excuses.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is tactical.
It's very good
really
strategy.
Like yeah.
Yep. And like we said, last episode, Walt got big drunk.
Yes. Slurring his words drunk.
Yeah. And it's the afternoon. He had slept all the way through the AM part of the day. And he wakes up and is trying to do what happened last night?
What did I do? Again, Skyler is no dummy. And he keeps trying to deflect and it's not working. One of the trajectories of the show is Walt's the talking cure. Like his superpower, of talking his way out of things just slowly starts, like people become immune to it.
Yeah. They build a
kind
tolerance.
of one by one.
Yeah.
They build a tolerance. You're never going to see Gus again. Like people keep figuring it out as this goes on person by person.
Yeah.
Eventually Jesse takes the longest to get there, but they all get there eventually. She says, did you know this Gail Bedecker person? He goes, what exactly did I say last night? Just again, trying to just, draw attention to himself, make fun of himself. And she says just enough.
Yeah.
Did you work together? Yeah. And she's doing this through concern, and not necessarily just concern for him, just like, are we in danger?
Yeah.
Who killed Gail? Is it the people you work for? And Walt's like, no, you're close, but no.
Just like, okay, well, is it anybody who's going to come here to try and do the exact same thing? And it's like, okay, so you mean with a gun or with gasoline?
Not exactly.
It's going to happen for a couple times. He says he'll be surprised. It's easy to forget how little Skyler knows about what's going on here. Like she genuinely has no idea because he doesn't talk about this. He tries to talk about this firewall. Yeah, trying to say this needs to be separate, church and state.
She probably doesn't know that Jesse is still involved.
Right.
Even though she's met. And Skyler says, I get it. You blabbed it when you're drinking. I was up all night. I was thinking about your black eye, that fight you didn't want to talk about. I'm getting it. And Walt hates this. He's, listen, there's a firewall. Don't bring this up. Church and state. He's getting really mad. And Skyler goes, then I thought about the message and you weren't loving, you were scared.
Yes.
That message was goodbye. It was a cry for help. And when he says cry for help, that's the thing that puts Walt over the edge.
Yeah.
Like he does not want to be psychoanalyzed by this stuff.
No.
Walt hates the idea of being reduced. I contain multitudes. He screams, impotently into the night. Like she's psychoanalyzing him. It wasn't a cry for help. It's his ridiculous fucking ego.
Yeah.
That's going through, but there is something wrong with him and she's closer than he wants
Yes.
her to be.
It's getting to it. Like, she figured out, like, oh, you actually were scared. And,
Yes.
This entire act that you are doing with me is predicated on this illusion that you are trying to present to us and often to yourself that you are in control of this.
Yeah, the casual. This is a work. This is a workplace.
Yes.
I go into work.
Yeah.
And
so he gets reductive back. He gets super sarcastic. Oh, you figured me out. You've looked into my soul. Just being a real dick about it. And Skyler reiterates something she said before. If you're in danger, we go to the police. Like, we tell them you're not some hardened criminal. You're in over your head. And that's the truth, right? You are in danger. So, like, do you just want me to wait for somebody to come and ice you at our front door, right?
Yeah, or spike our baby.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, or even worse. And again, that's the truth he's denying.
Yes.
He cannot be confronted by this. And you see him, like, his face changes.
Mm-hmm.
He turns, he transforms. Like, he's been pushed into a corner emotionally and becomes, like, lashes out as this. And does this monologue that, again, is very famous for this. So famous that the Samuel Jackson recreated it for charity.
Yep.
There's a YouTube of it. He laughs a lot more during it.
Yeah.
He plays it as it's still good. Samuel Jackson can deliver an icy monologue and it's fun. But it's a really different take.
Yeah. But he's underlining what he thinks is the ideal version of this transformation. He asks, who are you talking to right now? Who is it that you think you see? And big times are about the money and about his importance. If I stop, a company that could be on the NASDAQ goes out of business.
Yep.
You clearly don't know who you're talking to. I am not in danger, Skyler. I am the danger. A guy opens the door and gets shot. You think that guy is me? No, I am the one who knocks. Which is one of those things that you say when you think sounds real clever and real badass. But looking at it here and knowing how little control he is in, it is very, very pathetic. For this. And it, he basically told her, I'm the person who killed Gail is the message that she gets from this.
Yeah. And reasonably so.
Yeah.
And then also he's the one who knocks through a series of, like, goofy devices and coincidences.
Yeah.
Like, he does end up eventually knocking in all ways that shoot him in the foot constantly and lead to Jesse becoming a meth slave and all this, Hank dying. I love the mirror of this with the Hank.
Yeah.
He gets this one in this scene, he is panicking. And doing this later when he's talking to Hank, where he's like, if that's true, if you don't know who I am, maybe you should be careful. He has, like, actual confidence behind it.
Yes.
And it's a really nice mirror
to
this, I think, of, just him straight up telling. It's one of the most violent things you can tell a family member, like being like, you don't actually know me.
Yeah.
Right. Like that is devastating. That's a really harsh thing.
Every single assumption that you had is gone. Right. I am suddenly unpredictable. Incredibly violent, emotionally violent at the very least.
And I'll shoot you.
Yeah.
Like, police. I said the wrong thing. I'm not talking to the cops, are you, mate? Yeah.
I will do anything for this family, up to and including killing them myself.
Killing the family. Well, she uses that line, later, and it's great.
Yeah.
Basically, it has that mirror at the end of this. He goes and takes a shower, and you get to see him in the shower be like, fuck.
Yep.
Like, Skyler just sits there. He gets out and starts to apologize, but she's gone.
Yeah.
And her car is gone.
Yeah, she's gone with Holly.
So, baby napped. We get a scene. Walter still has errands to do today. So he's at the car wash at nighttime getting the keys. Skyler's in there, and Bogdan is just dragging his ass.
Yeah.
Nonstop. Because if you remember, I know you remember, listeners, Bogdan thinks he's getting one over on him.
Yes.
Like, he thinks that this is going to be an Environmental Protection Agency nightmare. Business.
Yeah. Saddling them with a business that cannot operate until hundreds of thousands more dollars go in. Right.
Yeah.
He's getting out and taking the bag with him. And he says, like I say to her, place sells as is. Understand? You know,
he keeps emphasizing this.
Right. Which immediately would throw up some red flags. Like, we've already closed on the deal, but I don't know.
You have the money now.
Yeah.
You can stop saying that. They go to the office, and Bogdan is just a pig in shit. Like, he is loving this. It's like, being the boss is tough. You have to work hard. And Walt this is beneath Walt.
Yes.
Initially he pushes him, further too far. You've seen me work hard, Bogdan. I don't know. If you can do that, you have to be tough. The cashiers have to wipe down cars if they don't want to. Can you be tough, Walter? Just like, I wanted to punch him and I don't do that. I'm not like somebody, I just leave when somebody's acting like so. I don't want to hang out with you. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I hit the bricks, but I was like, I'd punch this guy. This fucking sucks.
Well, he's being misogynist too. Like, I'm sure you can handle it. If not, you can always call your wife. That's not the reason that Walt is, furious here. But I think it's really telling that he doesn't go full Heisenberg on him here. He just does it with Skyler, who he feels he has some measure of control over.
For sure. Yeah. Well, he's also, not going to see Bogdan again.
Yes.
There's a little bit of a tactical layer to it, but he has less ability to needle him than Skyler does. He's also not right. Skyler was right. So it's like way worse.
So they head over to the register, and Bogdan makes this big show out of handing over the keys. Like, he holds them up and then just waits.
Drops them. Then he like straightens out the gum. Or whatever, he's like wistfully walking around, and Walt spitefully turns the gum back at the angle.
And Bogdan's about to leave, but he forgot something. He's like, I almost forgot. He had framed his first dollar and put it up on the wall. I don't know if that is a custom everywhere, but
I think it's common enough.
Yeah,
you see it in local businesses and stuff.
Yes.
It's a free dollar if you're quick.
And
I haven't collected them. I've ruined 7 lives and I can almost buy a lunch.
But Bogdan goes to take it, and Walt throws Bogdan's words back into his Bogdan, as is.
Yep.
And he like holds out his hand like, no, I want that dollar. And
I think that's pretty sick. This is satisfying because Bogdan's being a dick.
Yes.
So he takes the dollar. Bogdan is sad, and he just busts it open and buys a Coke. Good move. Jesse's at the diner with Mike. I'm glad you have this here. I thought this was a meatloaf.
Like a meat, like
what Mike's eating. It's gray.
Yeah.
If it's lasagna, that's a gray ass lasagna.
It's very gray. Yeah. There's only so close you can get to the image. I've got I don't know if they're 4K Blu-rays or whatever, but like, I was up there, I was like, what the fuck is this? They're at a diner and Mike is eating this very, like, it's really big. It's heaped high. It is one contiguous unit. So like, it is like way too thick to be like a chicken fried steak.
It's nothing like that. It's a cube.
Yeah.
It's an old man cube. He's eating an old man cube of some kind. And I thought lasagna as well, except the color's wrong. Then I was thinking meatloaf or something with like a gray gravy on it.
Yeah.
Like a roast, like a piece of roast almost with like a really gross gravy on it.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, like the shape of it is most like lasagna, but he's eating it with corn on the cob.
Yes, which is not a lasagna pairing.
No.
Also, when you get a little spot of the texture, when Jesse eats a little bit of it, it doesn't look like lasagna texture. It doesn't break like lasagna.
Yeah, and also like he's able to like take like to cut off his little piece with the fork, so it is not tough. This is not a contiguous
pasta.
Piece of meat.
You'd have to push that down like pasta. I still think it's a ground piece of meat. It's a soft like breadcrumb filled meatloaf.
Yeah. Okay.
Is my guess. If people watch this and you have any insight,
I'd
want to hear. It could also, we're all ignoring a real dark possibility. In the diner in my hometown, one of my friends, one of my close friends, had a real propensity for like pretty gross old man meals.
Okay.
Because they would be cheap. And he's very frugal. So he would be like, hey man, word to the wise, get the cold salmon plate. And you would get this cold salmon cube that was also gray.
Okay.
And looked a little bit like this. And this looks a little bit like that texture in terms of how it comes off.
Okay.
And salmon would do that. And you could eat a big chunk of salmon with corn. like if an old man meal.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I don't know. If I go to a diner, I'm going to get breakfast food because they serve that all
Sure.
day, and breakfast food is the best. Maybe I will swing a burger, possibly.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting into like a
what do you-
platter of some kind, no.
Yes. A family meal at a diner is not like a great idea. Like you can get a Salisbury steak
Yeah.
and it won't kill you
Mhm.
or anything, but it's not your best. Like if you're going to Black Bear, like you want to get something that has fries on it
Yeah.
or with it, mostly like or breakfast. And it's because breakfast is hard to fuck up.
Yes.
It is really easy to fuck up like a meatloaf or salmon
Yeah.
unit.
Yeah.
Of salmon.
I pretty much, they bring it out and a breakfast plate is pretty much just ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to fuck up.
Yeah.
So Mike noticed, they're just saying there, Jesse's hands are shaking as he's doctoring his coffee, and Mike notices, asks you okay, and Jesse snaps back at him.
Yeah.
And he says he's not using.
Mm-hmm.
Like he admits, like him being believed in is motivation to get clean.
Yes.
Fear didn't work as a tactic. Them showing up and taking, hey, this meth head stole your money. Do you not want to know what we're going to do to him? That doesn't work.
Yeah.
But respect works.
Yes.
On Jesse. That is like one of his character traits.
Yeah.
And Mike makes him eat some food.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Then he gets a call and has to leave.
Yep.
Jesse says, do you need help? But Mike doesn't. He just leaves some money on the table and goes.
Yep. It's breakfast. The next day, Skyler's in back, and Walt is pumping Junior for information about what Skyler said before she left.
Yeah.
Nothing really useful. And Junior goes, this is about the gambling, right? And he starts saying like, your mom is being ridiculous. I was reading online. She's not even allowed to be mad at you. This is like you have a disease.
Yeah. She can't get mad at you for having cancer, right?
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Phrasing it as she's not even allowed to be mad at you is a very childlike understanding of this.
It's really, I think you should leave.
Yeah.
Like you're not allowed to do that,
yeah. And like Walt is as close to being honest with him as he can. Like he's not really even doing like a lot of justifying really. He says, no, this isn't about gambling. This is about choices I've made, choices I stand by. He's not making excuses. He's just saying like, no, I don't feel comfortable with this compassion you're giving me right now.
Yeah, it's misaimed.
Yes.
It's him being honest, but also him, that's what he wants, right?
Yes.
Like his ideal world is he shouldn't be ashamed of these choices. Mm-hmm. If he's ashamed of them, it was all for nothing.
Yeah.
He has to feel good about these because he, ostensibly did it for his family. And at this point, he's still doing stuff for his family. It's not full. I never did it for my family stuff just yet, you know? Like you don't just like have 12 people simultaneously killed and blow up a nursing home for family.
Right.
So they're on the way. He's driving him to school, driving Junior to school, and Junior goes, "You're not going to move in, are you?"
Yeah.
Like this thing I was really hoped for. And Walt says, "No." And then but you know what? School can wait. And he drives him to a car dealership.
Mm-hmm.
Junior wants a car.
Yes.
And Junior, every bit the tactician as his parents, says, I think if you're going to buy me off, buy me off. And he points to a billboard for a Dodge Charger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they bring it home. They pull up. Yep. It is not quite the dubstep like car commercial that happens
next, right?
Yeah, that's
the beginning of the next episode because it's going to go back. I think.
No, wow. so yeah, they take it back. No, that's early season 5 stuff. Is what that is. Yeah,
gotcha.
The Charger comes back, and Walt also gets a souped up Chrysler 300.
Yes, yeah. His midlife crisis. His midlife crisis. His midlife crisis. There we go.
Yeah, he gets a 300, which is like an old gangster car.
Very funny.
Yeah. Oh gosh, but he's bribed him off with this badass car, this Brock Sampson car.
Yeah. He goes to work, and Jesse's already there waiting for him, smoking. Well, it's like, oh, you're actually here for work. And yeah, and he goes, we need to update. So they go hide out behind this tanker truck. To talk, give me some field trip, give me an update on these little field trips we're doing with Mike, and Walt is still this is one of these great moments here where Walt's social skills fail him.
Yes.
Because he's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He's figured out the strategy,
mm-hmm.
He's when he's doing all this stuff that's undermining Jesse, you're an asshole. He's being a huge asshole.
Oh yeah.
He's correct. though.
He's correct, and he could be better served if he ever felt like it was necessary to express respect or affection for Jesse.
Yes,
when it was not literally life or death, and he required something of him.
Yeah, which he literally feels those things from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
He just can't. They're not high in his hierarchy of things.
Yeah,
he feels. I love this. Is there something I don't know about you? Are you a former Navy SEAL? Love that. Hey, the Navy SEALs are the funniest branch of the military.
I can't hear the word Navy SEAL without thinking about the line in Clerks where the customers, ooh, Navy SEALs.
Navy SEALs. Yeah, it is absolutely the funniest branch of the military, like maybe of all time.
Yep.
Even if you just deconstruct it, like a Navy SEAL is really funny if we didn't know they were people. Do you have to have your hands registered as lethal weapons?
And Jesse flips them off and goes, registered this.
Jesse's getting pissed, right? Because he's making fun of him. And then I like this little bit because Jesse is not a total dummy.
Yeah.
Walt is just thinking the same, was closer to how Gus would.
Yes.
Walt says, do you really believe that Gus cares about you? And and Jesse goes, no, like, I know he did this to stop me from getting high because I was a liability, but I proved myself at this robbery.
Yeah.
Like he's not stupid to just think like, oh, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
He thought he was being babysat.
Yeah. He can't kill me. Right. Because then he loses you. So like, this is, that's what this is, but I prove myself, and that changes the equation. Right.
Yeah.
He has established this worth that Walt is trying to tear down. And this is where Walt puts it together. You can see on his face where he does the math and the equation lines up. Right. It's like, this doesn't add up. What if the robbery was a setup? Right.
Yeah. It happens on your first night.
Yeah.
It sounds like you didn't have to chase them for very long, or they didn't chase you very long. They gave up.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work. And, this is what's happening. Gus can't kill you because he needs me. So he's driving a wedge between us.
And then this I feel is just a little bit like too cartoonish.
Yeah. Oh, this is a clunky line for sure.
Is it? No, this whole thing, all of this, it's all about me.
Yeah. I feel like a Walt might have the presence of mind not to say that.
Yeah. And it would literally just be like, don't you see that you're being used? Don't you see
he's playing us against each other?
Yeah.
We have to unite. Like this is, like he could have played this if he were better with people, just be like, no, there is potential in you. He's using it, but I see it and, want to, he's trying to manipulate you.
Yeah.
I want to be your partner,
And he even says, he tries to say, do you think these people actually care about you? It's not just the, oh, are you a Navy SEAL? Is there something that I don't see? He tries to say like, oh, these people, they're going to leave you out to die. It's left unsaid, look at what they did to Victor. But like, I don't know. That's not a very compelling case coming from Walt.
Yeah. It just doesn't work out that way, and ends up, he's right. This is to wedge them together, even though Jesse ends up actually proving himself.
Yep.
Like I love that, both Walt underestimated him and Gus did. During this. So down in the lab, the phone rings. It's for Jesse, and he has to go. And this leaves Walt to do the cleanup by himself. And Walt, does something horrible. Goes upstairs and tries to recruit these 3 laundry workers to help him clean. His Spanish is not very good. I love that this isn't translated. So we're having the same experience that he is if we don't speak Spanish.
Yep.
Him trying to do this to get them to go, and he leads them towards the stairwell, and they all get scared. Like they're all like, no.
Nope, don't go there.
We don't do that. We were told not to do that. No. Like we don't do that. And Walt bribes them.
Yeah, it's like, here's the universal language. Presidente Grant, very important man. Small note, and this is just like a little. It's a little writerly, but I like it. He doesn't know the word for help, so he gets help on what word means help in Spanish. He's like ayuda. Yes, ayuda. Getting help to say help. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, okay, so here's money, and they kind of talk to each other. Like, okay, it's 2 hours. We're getting paid. He'll pay us $50.
He'll give us more at the end.
Yeah. So it's more. It's way more than we make up here. And so they agree, and he leads them back to the dryer, to this, to the staircase, and the one thing he says with confidence, "Híjole, let's do it." Pulled probably from some Western.
I imagine people in Albuquerque know a little bit more conversational Spanish than people in Portland. So he said they're all cleaning, all the stuff, and he sits back and drinks coffee. I was thinking about who makes this coffee. It feels like it's just always going. It's going when they get there. But then like raises his cup to the camera, like get fucked. If you're not going to give me a partner, I'm going to do stuff like this.
I mean, I don't know. I was about to say like Walt sitting back there and putting his feet up. Come on, join. It also sucks. It sucks for many reasons. Yes,
this is also cartoony, but I like it more than the "this is all about me" bit. And it's cartoony in that it's just. We've been seeing that he's been short-sighted. That this episode, this is just a little micro example of it.
Yeah, he literally does not compute what is going to happen to these women because of seeing them.
They're not people to him. Real mixed feelings about the scene. We get this very long lyrical scene of Skyler driving to the Four Corners Monument. That's where you can be in 4 states at once. It flips a coin on where to move, basically.
Yes.
Should I move out of New Mexico? And it lands on Colorado. She flips again. It lands on Colorado. She has second thoughts. She looks at Holly, and then she just drags the coin back to New Mexico. Like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I just imagine Junior being like, hey, what about me? Like, I would also be abandoned.
Yeah.
You got a firstborn over here.
Yeah. I don't know. It shows that she is not ready to break off yet. Like, obviously it is, not bad enough.
Yes.
Not extreme enough.
Giving up too much.
Yeah.
If she was not giving up as much, it'd probably be no problem.
Yeah.
She would just do it.
It's like,
it feels like this feels a little ponderous to me.
Yeah.
As a scene, I don't know what it is about it that just doesn't work super well for me. There are other slow lyrical scenes in this that work really well for me.
Yeah.
This one maybe not as much. Maybe it's just the weird coincidence
of it landing in the same place. Yeah.
Twice. Yeah. Like that feels a little Wayfarer to me. Like it feels a little bit Magnolia.
Yeah.
To me.
I mean, I also just want to say, go to Colorado. It's nice.
Yeah. Colorado's fine. Fort Wayne. It's nice. But also, Junior.
Yeah, there's Junior too.
There's Junior. And she just disappeared with Holly. She's not doing it through best quality vacuum.
Right.
She's just doing it through and it's not like Walt's not gonna hunt her down through family court. Shit like that.
Right.
So Mike and Jesse pull up to a steakhouse to stake out a house. Pull up to get to Outback.
Oh yeah.
I said eat.
Yeah.
I said eat.
They want a baked potato that is far too big and with skin that is tough as leather.
They want to be able to use it later to make a football to toss it around. Jesse says, what we're doing, we watch. Who are these guys? They're people who found 3 pounds of the product. They're selling it. They didn't get it from us.
Right. And just in case it wasn't clear, this is just a ratty house. This is not a Logan's.
Yes.
And Jesse questions the tactics here, saying, why can't we just go up there and pound on the door and demand that they give us our ship back? Mike says, well, these guys are heavily armed and they're into the product.
I don't know if you know this. But
maybe you do.
Tend to be unpredictable. Yeah.
And, Mike doesn't care for unpredictable. He says, sorry to burst your bubble, kid, but that's 90% of the job. But don't worry, I've got sandwiches.
Love it.
And he pulls out.
I love Mike's old man sandwiches.
Yes. It's like, oh, I've got pimento cheese. And Jesse doesn't want it.
Yeah. I would fuck that up. I love pimento cheese.
Yeah.
Pimento cheese head.
Mayonnaise and dairy. Yum.
Yeah. You don't like most of that. Together. I can fuck up some pimento cheese. There's a place in town that does a burger that has pimento cheese on it. It's but again, old man sandwich. This comes back later in Better Call Saul. The tuna salad and pimento cheese are the Mike sandwiches. Better Call Saul has a series of little promotional things on YouTube where they're instructional videos. And the one for Mike is how to make a pimento cheese sandwich. And it's really just put a then you spread the cheese the right amount. And then that's like the only piece of advice in the whole thing. So Jesse's not going to have this. He gets out. Mike doesn't stop him, pounds on the door. He uses his street name, Diesel. He's used that name before.
Yep.
asking this guy to buy, and the guy inside just keeps screaming Tucker.
Yeah.
Tucker. It's real fucking Gumo and like
Tucker, get back here.
Close the door, right?
Tucker doesn't want to sell, right? And it's like, where'd you hear about this kind of thing?
Yeah.
He's never seen Jesse before. Probably right.
Yep.
Probably right to be suspicious. Somebody coming to your house with that. Yeah.
Very much so. Jesse walks back to the car and Mike is very smug. I guess we'll go with plan A then, kid. And Jesse's like, no, pop the trunk. I need something. He does, and you can even see the additional trust that Mike is actually gaining for Jesse.
Yes.
During this, like even letting him take the lead on this. Right. And Jesse says, you may know this PI sit in the car business, but I know meth heads. And like, I really like this.
Yeah.
I like this scene, he just grabs a shovel and just starts digging.
He goes to the front yard of the house and just starts digging the sandy soil.
Yep.
I was in tears when this aired, Gary.
Yeah, it's very funny. And they just can't resist. Like if you put a meth head in front of Lode Runner, like they're out. That's it. It's the dig dug of drug.
It's dig drug.
Habits.
Yeah,
dig drug. Yeah.
So Tucker comes out to see what's going on, and this exchange.
It's so good. Yeah.
just in its in how terse it is, and just in the paucity of words and how much is communicated. He's like,
"Yep,
what are you doing? Digging? Why?" Yeah. Oh, you know why? Knowingly.
I love why. Like if you look at Jesse, like the performance from Aaron Paul here, there's a lot of contempt in this, right? So Jesse's getting clean. He's been here before. He doesn't like it, right? Like, you know why? Like he's mad. He just knows it won't. It's not going to defer this guy because then you're like, how deep are you going? I don't know. How deep do you think it is? The idea of a hole just having a degree of deepness as you're digging it is very good. And the guy's fucking fascinated. Like,
pretty deep.
Like,
we gotta get down to the bottom
of that. Yeah. Like, I fucking love it. And then, he gets his invite, right? Like, hey, would you take over? I got to use the can. Can I use your bathroom? Yeah. Like, sure, whatever.
It's on Sawyer's it.
Yeah. And Mike smiles a little bit as Jesse gets inside.
I love Mike's little approving smiles. There are a couple times when they come out with Jesse.
It's real good.
Yeah. And it's a different situation because while Tucker is kind of a cartoon, we're gonna run into the unnamed guy inside, who in the credits just goes by Scary Skell. Skell being just like an old timey like 60s and 70s word for criminal guy, right?
Yes. Yeah. And he's scary. He looks like a little bit like Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
A little bit here. And he's just walking back and forth with a shotgun.
Shirtless.
Screaming. Yeah, shirtless with a shotgun, screaming for Tucker, and then sees Jesse.
Yes.
Who the hell are you? Jesse, I'm here to buy. Who told you? Tucker. Tucker needs to keep his mouth shut. I don't have enough for all of Tucker's asshole friends.
Hey, you have 3 pounds.
Yeah, it's a lot of methamphetamine. Here for you, buddy. You're gonna die.
Yeah, and Jesse tries pacifying him. Like Jesse gets both ends of the kind of amphetamine compulsion and paranoia on this. He could control Tucker with this, but Jesse says like, "Hey, we could just go outside to sort things out." Skell doesn't go outside. Skell, puts the gun into Jesse's face and says, "I don't want any trouble." And
Jesse says, "I don't want any trouble."
Yeah. Jesse said, "I don't want any trouble," and the guy's like, "Trouble? What's trouble?" And eventually, just stop putting thoughts in my head, which is
it's just Frank Booth.
just communication. Yeah.
Stop saying things.
Yeah.
When I ask you questions, you're not supposed to do anything. But it's real, like super unpredictable maniac energy in the room.
Yeah.
Luckily, a noise distracts Skell. Jesse brains him with a bong, takes the gun, and the noise was Mike opening the back door.
Yeah. My Mike was coming in to support, right? Because it was a little bit too long. Gosh, and the guy just like quietly moaning on the floor.
Yeah,
knocked out, concussed. Yeah.
Same thing when he hit Mr. Spooge.
Oh yeah,
in the head, and he just like rolled around on the head, being like, my head. Like it's I don't know. Maybe meth makes you feel pain in an ultra cool way.
Try it. Don't try it. It seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. So Mike looks at the Poyos lid and it says, "Are you ready to talk?" in Spanish.
Right.
The cartel are, we need a fucking meeting.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah. We get the consequences for Walt's little cleaning stunt, saying, oh, if you're not going to let me have my partner, I'm just going to invite people into the lab. He's taken the workers back upstairs, and then Tyrus is waiting, saying, like, it says in Spanish, you come with me, ladies. Walt asks where they're going. They're going to be put on a bus back to Honduras, right?
Yep. And you can see Walt, like, you see the horror in his face, right? Like, if you asked him, if he was voting, does something bad happen to these ladies? He would vote no.
Right.
He just isn't thinking about shit.
Yeah.
Like, the indignity of him having to clean this up is too much. That is a problem. That is a fire that needs to be immediately put out. No. Damn the consequences.
Yeah. He probably thought, oh, they're not just going to kill these random ladies. But he did not think that there was something between killing and letting them go that they would fall to.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. And he's like, no, this was me. Please just tell Gus, tell him to blame me. And I love this line. Tyrus goes, he does, like, of course it's your fault. It's not their fault. You fucking idiot. It's just, I can deport them and I can't deport you.
Yeah.
Goddamn dope. Just, I deserves to feel lower than fucking dirt and does.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's diner time again. We don't see what mystery old man meal Mike is eating.
No.
We don't get a lot of time with it because Gus arrives and they send Jesse outside because it's time to talk business.
Yep. Mike says this hit was about sending a message. They didn't keep the product. They just gave it away. They didn't want to sell it. Here's, I know you're not asking for advice, but let me hire 10, 15 good operators and we hit them hard. And they are. Gus says, no, this war needs to stay cold. Here. The answer, let's set up a meeting.
Yes.
They want to talk. Let's talk.
Yeah. And Gus asks how Jesse did, and the camera cuts outside.
This is great.
Yeah.
Because we, at this point, right, we know that Mike is actually gaining respect for Jesse. We know that Gus is setting up Jesse. Gus is eventually going to gain respect for Jesse. And one of the ways that's going to happen is that transferring of, that respect Mike has to Gus here, but they don't want to let us off the hook yet. No. We still need to think that Jesse is in danger and being used, at least plausibly. So this is a trick that happens masterfully in Better Call Saul as well.
Yes.
Where they don't let us hear the conversation we want to hear. We just get to hang out outside, kind of fiddling, fidgeting like Jesse.
I just watched that episode, actually.
Oh yeah. The Better Call Saul one.
The Better Call Saul, we'll talk again in 6 months conversation.
Yeah. Or no. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's used a couple different times. Sorry.
Yeah. I was thinking of the ending. I was like, man, you're fucking cruising through these.
No, sorry.
It's okay.
Same trick, different application.
But it's still great. It's it's really smart.
Yeah.
So he leaves. He gets up and leaves, talks to, it gets out. And as he's leaving, Jesse says, hey, excuse me, why me? And Gus says, I like to think I see things in people.
Yeah.
And leaves, which is tactically, the best thing to say there.
A masterful thing to say to Jesse specifically.
Yes. It's all Jesse has ever wanted. Like, if his dad can't be his dad and Walt can't be his dad, Mike and Gus can form my two dads.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So we get Skyler back home, and she pulls in, and sees the Challenger in the driveway. And, okay, this is nonsense. And she walks in on Walt and Junior eating dinner.
Yep. And Junior, is like, hey, do you see what Dad got me? This is actually really safe. I'm really safe with it. We talked to the guy. She's not worried about the safety of it. But he's like, can I drive around the block? She goes, okay.
Yeah.
She needs to get her dad alone, or his dad alone anyway.
I love Junior's attempt at persuasion with this. I'm going to go at the speed limit or lower
or under. Yeah. Or safer.
But yeah, he's going to go out and drive this thing. So we're going to talk. And Walt tries to start the conversation. And it's like, we need to talk. He said, I think you said plenty the other day. And Skyler asks, like, did you go get the car wash keys? She just wants to keep this, barren on business terms.
Yeah. Church and state. The thing that Walt said he wanted.
Yep.
In some ways. And Walt I love the performance from Cranston here. He's so distracted by that question. He's like, yeah. Like, of course I did the cover story stuff.
Yeah.
You know, let's get to the real meat of things. The game I'm playing, the character I'm developing.
Right.
You know, listen, you know, I overstated things earlier. He reaches out to touch her and she like turns around, she flinches.
Yeah.
You know, none of this stuff. And Walt thinks that the reason she is upset is not because of the lies and because he said this super scary shit, is because she still thinks that they're in danger from Gail's mystery shooter.
Yes.
You know.
So he says, you know, the family's safe. Everything I do it to protect my family.
Yep. And she is the charger part of protecting the family. And, you know, Walt's like, well, he needed a car and I should be able to get him what he wants. I'm his father.
Ding, ding, ding.
You know,
heart of it.
Yeah. Yep. And Skyler's like, no, the car goes back tomorrow. It contradicts the story. Protecting the family is protecting the story.
Yes.
You know, and here's Walt doing the same thing he's like did with the Honduran ladies kind of shit. Like, this sucks.
Yes.
This is one of the most I've ever hated Walt in an episode.
Oh, it's
like, I hate Walt a lot, but this is really despicable Walt.
He's going to fall to like worse interpersonal depths than this, but like this is wormy.
A new low.
Yeah, this is wormy stuff. Yeah.
This feels like a new low to me, and that includes like killing people.
Yes.
You know, him being like, "Oh, I just worry that he'll blame you for this." You know, like, go get fucked.
Yeah.
Literally die, man.
Yeah.
Like, Crystal Blue persuade you into the fucking floor. Like, get fucked.
Oh man, and Skyler, you know, he will. You know, she knows this. Like, there's nothing. The trick doesn't work. She's thought about this. She knows the dynamic. Once again, he'll blame his bitch mother for taking away what his loving father gave to him. So thanks for that. But you know what, Walt? Someone has to protect this family from the man who protects this family. You know, she's had time to think about this. You know, she is reestablishing her role in this. Yeah,
as the cooler head.
Yes.
This is what's happening. If I went to Colorado, it would still be Walt with Junior, you know, and he's still going to do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's going to contradict the story and it's going to fuck everything up.
Yes.
You know? So yeah, she just takes Holly to the nursery. Walt's just staying there, and that's the end of the episode. Yeah. Good episode.
Good episode. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
It's tons of really great interpersonal things. When we call it place setting, it's not that. You know, it's not like they're trying to rearrange stuff.
Accurate.
Yeah. This is...
It's escalation.
Yes. Interpersonal
it's escalation of existing. Yeah. The existing things that are happening now, not being started, but being escalated.
Yes.
You know, through this. And just it is the secret, you know, it's the tension, right? That like, for me, it is a big reason. Like, I love low-key episodes of the show, and I like it when they're just like kind of masterfully shot. And it's like, oh, you guys figured out a new way to do a montage or a stop motion or a time lapse thing. Like, that's all cool. It's impressive and everything. But the thing that made this show electric to watch when I first watched it, and the thing that makes it so I can barely stop when I'm watching it again for the show now, doing a podcast about it, is this tension. Like this, like absolutely delicious rising tension.
Yeah. And this feels very necessary. You know, if there is a place being set here, it is that Walt is being isolated, right?
Yes.
That is going to, you know, have consequences. It's basically going to be the thing that leads to the consequences here. You know, you drawing a line, like, it's just a countdown to crawl space, right?
Yep. We're in the countdown to crawl space now.
Yeah.
Yep. Great stuff.
Yeah.
What can people do if they like this show?
If people like this show, they can support the network by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. Kick in a few bucks a month. That supports us and lets us do shows like this, in addition to the video game shows that we do.
Yeah, this is what's known as a loss leader. Or a lost follower. You know, we do the other shows that make the money, and then we do stuff that we like for the people who like it. That's stuff like this.
Yeah.
We like doing it. You can also leave us ratings, reviews on Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict. A lot of people, you know, at any given moment are starting a new watch of this series. Send them our way. We're fun companions for such.
We are.
And join us in thanking Gwen, who is our producer and composed our theme song.
Thank you, Gwen.
Yeah. And then I think that's it.
Yeah. Until next time, it's not all about you.
Yeah. It's not all about anybody.